from 9 to 5. You can drop in on us at the library, and while you're here, I have some really fantastic books for you to pick up. So I often have a lot of requests for princess stories or stories that are scary or stories about trolls and giants and that sort of thing. And while we do have a lot of that in the picture book area, I have another secret area that you can find a ton of really fantastic books. So 398 is in the nonfiction section. You can see it right there on the spine of the book. It's a section of folk tales and fairy tales, and there's lots of really fantastic books, and I have a few of my favorite to share with you today. The first story I have here is called The Green Frogs. It's a Korean folk tale, and it tells a little bit about a story of two frogs that never ever do what their mother says. In fact, they do the exact opposite. So when she tells them not to get dirty, they get very dirty. And when she tells them to be quiet, they are loud. And this is a really fantastic story. It'll even let you know why in Korea, sometimes kids who really misbehave are called green frogs. My next book is called Finn McCool and His Fearless Wife. It's a story of a giant who's actually kind of strong, but he's also a really big coward. He's very lucky his wife is so smart, because this is the tale of him defeating another super strong giant by pretending to be a baby while his wife does all the work. It's a really funny read. Because some of our fairy tales come from all sorts of different cultures, they have a lot of really interesting sound words, and of course some really beautiful pictures. The next book I have to share for you is called In the Rainfields, and I love it because the pictures are just so fascinating and the words are really kind of intriguing. It's set in Africa, and it's a bit of a tale about rain and where it comes from, but you could stare at the pictures forever. So if you're one who really likes to focus on illustration, you can check it out, In the Rainfield. My next two recommendations are for those who really like the creepy stories. The first one I have is a classic from Russia. It's called Baba Yaga, and it is about a witch who eats children, and she lives in a house that walks around on chickens' feet. She's a real creeper. This story has a pretty happy ending, but if you kind of like the dark and creepy, check out Baba Yaga. The next story I have is called The Wendigo Returns, and it is a story, it's an Ojibwe folktale about a giant that can change itself to anything, and you can never really look at it. So how do you catch a giant that's terrible and destroying people, but you can never see it, and it can change into anything? Well, fortunately, there's a very smart young lady named Morningstar in this story, and she kind of figures the situation out. The Wendigo's Return is a really fun read, but a little bit creepy if you like that sort of thing. Alright, princess fans, we got you too. If you want to read some of the stories that were probably made into Disney movies, Rapunzel, Beauty and the Beast, Frozen, all sorts of other tales, the non-fiction fairy tale collection pretty much has everything. You can even read Frozen before it became Frozen. This is the Snow Queen, the fairy tale that was based on. All sorts of different variations of Rapunzel and other ones with great illustrations. You can come and check them out today or tomorrow.